Okay, so welcome back. This is another behind the scenes Chicken Park episode. Today we're talking about episode 5, which is Dead Man's Party. This is another remake episode of episode 6, Dead Man's Party, and it's basically the same exact episode. I just added 2 new scenes at the beginning. I added in the scene in the kitchen when Mikey and Kevin were kids, and the scene in the police station when they were teenagers. The most important thing anyway is that I completely redrew Kevin. Here is the sketch from the AI, and I made a few adjustments there. You see, AI always messes up the hands and feet, but so this is the initial sketch. Even here with the mouth, you see, this is what the AI generated, and I drew all the rest there so that he could talk. And then there's all the other parts here. And I did draw these like 3 different ages of him here. You see, here he is at like 9 or 10, and he's got the Chicken Bones t-shirt on. Here he is as a teenager. He's going through a punk phase here with his jacket and his blue jeans. He's even got like a brow ring there, and he's got a spiky rooster comb, so he's punked out here. And then as an adult, he's a little bit chubbier, and he's got bloodshot eyes because, that's the kind of life that he lives. And then I did the back angle too of grown-up Kevin, which I didn't put a whole lot of effort into it. As you can tell, the feet don't even line up with him. It's basically the same thing. I just turned all the parts around and put the face on the other side. I redrew Mikey. Same thing. I mean, the same ages. I decided Mikey, instead of being punk like Kevin, maybe in his youth, he was more into disco, which that's probably showing my age. You see, he's got the white John Travolta suit with the platform shoes. So I'm not real sure how I like him. I don't have the original sketch because this is several different AI generations that I put together myself. I redrew Grandpa Duck. Again, he's a combination of several different AI things. I redrew Grandmom, and if you ever get to see her walk, the ears of her pink bunny slippers wobble. So that's kind of cool. You see there she is walking. You see how the bunny slippers kind of wobble like that? That's kind of cool. And then there's the supporting cast. Betsy, who is Mikey's sister. There's this obnoxious otter. And then the preacher who said the eulogy or whatever it was. Those 3 are just... they're like stick figures. They don't have really anything that moves in them. They just... these are just freebone characters. You see, they only move on the one axis. They do have working faces, but that's all. So as for the scenery now, I had a lot of different options, but most of them required a lot of, a lot of moving parts, a lot of chairs and things. So I chose this one here because all I had to do was just move this one part. And then, of course, add in the characters and everything. There's the police station exterior, which I put a little more effort into because I figure I'll use it again. But see, I did some different things with the color adjustment in the image editor, and I made it go from night to day. Also, I added in the police cars separately from the rest of it so they can move. I could even make them drive away if I wanted to, but I didn't put that much time into it. And also, you see here, when it turns night, the sign lights up, and the moon comes out. So I thought that was kind of cool. There's the police station here, which, here's another character I forgot to mention earlier. It's the desk sergeant Al. You see, he actually blinks his eyes, and when he does, he moves his head down, and he breathes. So at least he doesn't just sit there like part of the scenery. He does move around some. Then there's, again, I picked this scene because all I had to do was just this. That's all I had to... the only thing I had to move. And I added in the clocks, which actually worked during the course of the scene. So, again, it's something I could use again if I want to, but it was simple enough that I didn't have to spend all day on it. Then there's the park scenes, which those I'm going to be using in almost every episode. Then there's Kevin's den, which we've seen before. On screen, there's the Facebook page, which includes a long post that Betsy wrote about her grandfather. Now, Grok actually wrote this. And here is what I asked Grok for, and here is what Grok wrote. I'll do some kind of a reading of this at the end of this video if you're really interested and want to hear the whole thing. And then I mocked up the Facebook page here with all of Kevin's friends and family. This is supposed to be what Kevin's looking at from his desk, which is kind of incongruent because this looks a lot neater than what I had for the den on from the other angle. But you see, Grandmom has the working robot mouth. And this is another poster that Kevin has up in his den. It's a James Bond chicken thing called Casino Gallinaceus, which is Latin for, like, chicken. There's Kevin's front porch, you see, with Rico's house right across the street. You'll remember that one from last episode. Then there's the funeral scene with Kevin, Mikey, Grandmom, Rico, and the vice mayor of Chicken Park. There's the inside of the church with all the pews. And all the rest are just props. So you see they all come in there. Even the family with all the little ones. There's the Buddha cow logo that's on Mikey's t-shirt. There's the incoming call icon with the chicken on it. Then there's all the Facebook things. Grandmom, Kevin, Mandy Behrman, Dave, Rico, Betsy, Meredith, Brian, and then the turtle and the frog. There's Kevin's comment bar from Facebook. The banana logo, because, you know, we don't use Apple products. We use banana products. The poster for Casino Gallinaceus. The Jackrabbit drink cup. The Ninja Cow 2 poster, which is new. And then from last episode, I have these two beer bottles. The Blue Hen beer. And just for fun, here is the official seal of the city of Chicken Park. The story is based on something that really did happen to me. I had a friend who was so negative. He just complained all the time. And, you know, we butted heads a lot. And we didn't really have a fight, but we kind of parted ways. And we didn't speak for like a couple of years. And then he died. And I went to the funeral, and all these people started getting up, and they were saying all these things like, I never heard him complain. He was so gracious and so kind and all this stuff. And I was like, you know, either these people really didn't know him, because I knew him a really long time, like 20 years. And I was like, either these people really didn't know him or they're just lying, you know. And really that just made me feel guilty, because I felt like all these people could put up with him and they could still say these nice things about him, even if they knew they weren't true. And here I was, you know, we hadn't even talked in a couple of years. So I just got up there and I said, listen, this wasn't the guy that I knew that you're describing. I wasn't always a good friend to him. He was burdened. He had a lot of problems, you know, and I wasn't up to the task. And so I said, you know, I'm glad that I'm here, and, you know, I don't feel as guilty now because I see that he had such good friends other than me, you know, because I wasn't up to the task. And I think a lot of people were feeling the same way I was. So, and because several people spoke to me after the funeral. But anyway, that's what inspired this story. Also, I want to tell you that this bit right here, I think he fought in the war.
Well, it looks like he won it all by himself.
That is 100% word for word a conversation I had with my own grandmother when she was like 101, reading the obituaries.
All right, we're done here.
In loving memory of Manfred Beauregard Pop Duckworth. Hey everyone, it's with a heavy heart and a boatload of cherished memories that I share the news of my pop's passing. Manfred Beauregard Duckworth, known to all the kids in the neighborhood as Pop, was not just my grandfather, he was a legend, a walking, talking piece of history from Chicken Park. Born in 1914, he lived through more than most of us could imagine, and he did it with style, humor, and a heart as big as his stories. Pop was born in Chicken Park, a town so small it didn't even make it onto most maps, but it was big enough for Pop's adventures. By age 10, he had already saved the town's poultry parade from a rogue raccoon with nothing but a slingshot and his wits. As a boy, his aim was so good, he could hit a fly off a rooster at 50 paces. In the 1930s, while delivering eggs to the city, Pop accidentally ended up on a Hollywood set where they were filming a cowboy movie. Mistaken for a stunt double, he performed a daring horseback stunt that left John Wayne himself clapping. A friend of Wayne's in later years claimed that he spoke often of Pop, saying how he couldn't believe he'd made that jump, but Pop told him, "Duke, when you've been dodging chickens your whole life, horses are a breeze." Enlisting in World War II, Pop wasn't content with regular duty. He became an unofficial medic, saving lives with his homemade remedies. Once, under heavy fire, he managed to concoct a brew from local herbs that not only healed wounds but also made the soldiers feel like they could run through walls. He was awarded a medal, but true to Pop, he used it as a bottle opener at home. After the war, Pop returned to Chicken Park, setting up what could only be described as a quirky clinic. He developed a cure for the common cold that involved chicken soup, a shot of whiskey, and a good dose of laughter. His methods were unorthodox, but by golly, they worked. He even had Elvis drop by once, seeking relief from his tour fatigue. Pop's cure? A night in Chicken Park, son. No place like it for rest. Pop wasn't just about medicine. In the 60s, he marched with Martin Luther King Jr., not because he was particularly political, but because he heard there was good pie at the rally and he wanted to share it with everyone, regardless of color. His famous quote? "Good pie, like good people, doesn't see race." As the years went by, Pop became a fixture at town events, always with a story or a prank up his sleeve. He once rigged the town's clock to run backward, just to see the confusion. "Time's just a suggestion," he'd chuckle. Pop Duckworth wasn't just a man, he was a phenomenon. He lived life with a zest that made you believe in magic. He taught us to laugh, to love, and to never take ourselves too seriously. His passing leaves a void, but his stories, his spirit, and his love for Chicken Park will live on in all of us. Rest in peace, Pop. Chicken Park will never be the same, but your legacy will forever keep us smiling. With all my love. Betsy Duckworth.